This is the Winning Fourcast, where the Gelding and I give you our 4 best bets for tomorrow's Flemington race meeting and, a little bit later in the program, the Professor's Parlay. And I hope you're honest last week, 100% place rate. We're going to look to do a bit better this week. Gelding, what did you think of last week's effort?
Good afternoon, Professor, and to our listeners. Yeah, very consistent we were last week with 1 second and 3/3, of course.
Flemington tomorrow, a 10-race card, the first at 12:15, the last at 5:35pm. The feature race, it's a Group 1 Gelding, Race 8, the Australian Guineas, worth $1 million over 1,600 metres. The track's currently a good 4. The rail is out 2 metres. What are your 2 best bets for tomorrow's meeting, Gelding?
Yes, Professor. Good to see the Group 1s are worth $1 million this week.
They were listening to it last week, Gelding.
They were indeed. Look, Professor, I've gone late in the day. I had to have a bet in the Australian Guineas, and I've got to go what I think is the best horse, probably racing at Flemington tomorrow in number 1, Observer, trained by a former trainer of ours in Kieran Ma. This horse has had 8 starts for almost $2 million in prize money, Professor. 8 starts for 4 wins, 50% win rate, 7 out of 8, and 87.5% place rate, Professor, around about the 250 at the moment. So I think if you get on that, and if you can get a bonus bet, even better, Professor, have your money on and cover up for if it doesn't run a place. But look, Ethan Brown, Kieran Ma, the Blue Army, tick, 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 isn't it? Winning the Derby, over 1,400, hasn't had a problem. I can't see the mile worrying it tomorrow, whereas maybe its opposition in 60s, it's stepping up from 1,400. So I think Observer would have no problems running it. I think 60s is a danger to it, and those horses seem just a little bit better than everything apart from, say, Planet Red. But I think Observer, a Group 1 winning horse, trained by the leading trainer and ridden by a top jockey going places, certainly gets my vote of approval. So first tip, race 8, number 1, Observer. Then into another former trainer of ours, Professor, a race 9, number 3, Alpha Sophie. This 3-year-old capitalist filly has had 5 starts for 4 wins, Professor. Just seems to be almost a bulletproof type of horse in a 3-year-old race. I think it can. It's up against some good horses, Professor, in Nashville Jack and Get Your Good Feeling and Trapper John. But I think this horse is going to be a potential Group 1 horse. Alpha Sophie, 5 starts for 4 wins, 80% win and place rate, Professor. Trained by former trainer Peter Moody and your favourite in Kath Coleman. Ridden by Zach Spain, who's riding in great form at the moment, taking all opportunities created by that brain fade by Luke Nolan the other night and his suspension. So, yeah, my 2 are race 8, number 1, into race 9, number 3, and I will certainly be parlaying them up tomorrow, Professor. And you like?
Yeah, Gelding, going a little bit earlier than you. Race 2, the Ruberock Handicap. It's a benchmark 78 over 1,200 metres. I like in this race, Gelding, horse number 5, Regal Tycoon, coming out of barrier 1. It's had 16 starts for 5 wins and 10 placings, so a 31% win rate, 94% place rate. I like all those figures, Gelding. It's a 4-year-old mare that's track form's been very, very good. Over the last 7 races, Gelding, 4 wins and 2 seconds, so you can't do much better than that. Ran last in a listed race at Geelong 4 weeks ago, but it's been freshened up. The threat, Rue de Royal, carrying 58.5 even after the apprentice's claim, Gelding. So
yeah, I did see that, Professor.
Yeah, I think it might have a Rue de Royal covered. I do like the each-way odds in this one, Gelding, currently showing $7.40. So, as Mark Fiorenti would say, very juicy odds.
Very juicy, nice trade tip there, Professor. And Jamie Mott, the jockey, also on fire at the moment.
He is, Gelding, number 1 in the overall Victorian Jockeys Premiership with 69 winners at the moment, and he's 4th in the Metro with 27 winners. He's in career form at the moment for this racing season, 15% if you don't mind.
And making the most of all the opportunities he's given, Professor, and you take that on board being a high weight jockey, doesn't have the luxury of getting getting the rides at 54 or 52 kilos. So remember, there's only limited horses he can ride. And, he's doing extremely well.
And trained by John McArdle, he's having a career season, Gelding. His career win rate is 12%. Goodness gracious. Over this season so far, 23%. 23 winners from 100 starts. Got a season out of the box. Over 100% better than his career rating.
Got to be noticeable, that, Professor. So, yeah, I like the way you're going to start our little parlay off tomorrow at nice, juicy each way odds.
So do I, Gelding. All right, my second selection's in race 3. The Good Friday Appeal Plate, a benchmark 78 over 1,400 metres. In this one, I like horse number 2, Red Galaxy Gelding, coming out of barrier 5. Had 10 starts for 3 wins and 4 placings, 30% win rate, 70% place rate. A 5-year-old Gelding, stepping back in class, Gelding, has run in benchmark 84s and listed races and has won over the distance, 3rd up tomorrow, and has been placed 3rd up before. So pretty good form. One of the form jockeys too, Gelding, Lachlan Niendorf. I think he's taken a few people by surprise this season.
Yeah, coming over from South Australia. So snuck under the radar, won the main race at Pakenham last night, Professor. So in fine form. And I do like your tip, Professor, especially in what's a very small field. Only 8 running at the moment, and we haven't heard of any scratchings as yet. But another fantastic each-way chance, Professor.
Yeah, $6.50 and $2 at the moment, Gelding, so I'd suggest punters might like to get on now. Trained by Greg Urell. He's in career form, 13% for his career and 13% for this season. One thing about Lachlan Niendorf, I did notice he's number 2 on the Victorian Jockeys Premiership ladder at the moment with 60 wins, only 9 behind Jamie Mott. So my 2 selections tomorrow, Gelding, are in-form jockeys.
Yes, certainly are, Professor, and in-form stables. Is Greg Urell one of your former trainers, Professor?
I don't think he's one of my former trainers, Gelding. Is he one of yours?
No, I've never had a horse with him. I thought you might have, but you've gone through a few trainers.
So have you, Gelding.
Only on your advice, Professor.
Yes, on my advice. All right, Gelding. So my 2 for tomorrow, race 2, horse 5, Regal Tycoon, into race 3, horse number 2, Red Galaxy. Now, let's turn to the very successful Professor's Parlay, Gelding. We got it at home again last week.
And what are we running at the moment, Professor?
4 from 7, 57%, Gelding.
Pat yourself on the back.
I will, Gelding, after the show. Last week, we had Treasure the Moment that ran 3rd, and the other 2 legs were the NBA, Gelding, which didn't let us down. Basketball's been very good to us this current season, Gelding. Cleveland
You're
Cavaliers.
on fire with your tips in the basketball, Professor.
I think so, Gelding. Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Charlotte Hornets, and the Minnesota Timberwolves accounted for the Dallas Mavericks. So a nice little return of $10.50, so 100% dividend, Gelding.
Can't complain about that, Professor.
No, not at all. This week, so the agreed bet of the day, race 8, horse 1, Observer, for all the reasons you mentioned earlier in the program. And let's parlay that into, let's go back to the basketball. The NBL finals are coming up. We'll go point guard for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, Nathan Sobey. They're 3rd on the ladder, playing the Perth Wildcats 4th. We'll go for him to score 15 points or more. He's done that 6 out of the last 7 occasions, Gelding, and you might remember that I said the only time he didn't was when he came back too early from being ill. He only scored 9 points. So he was only 6 off, even though he was crook. But he's had a terrific season. And let's parlay that into the point guard for the opposition, the Perth Wildcats, Kristian Doolittle. Scored 15.5 points or better 4 of the last 5.
AKA the doctor.
Yes, Dr. Doolittle. Very well done, Gelding. Very well done.
An oldie but a goodie.
Yes. The only miss he's had, Gelding, was when he scored 5 points in the last game, but he shot 1 from 8 from the field. So that's most unusual for him. He doesn't usually have a bad shooting night. So I figure that he would have got over 15 if some of those shots had dropped.
Yes. I like it, Professor.
Gelding, the Professor's parlay for tomorrow is race 8, horse 1 at Flemington Observer into point guard for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, Nathan Sobey, to score 15 points or more, into point guard for the Perth Wildcats, Kristian Doolittle, alias Dr. Doolittle, to score 15 points or more. What we'd ask, Gelding, is that the listeners, viewers, like the broadcast, subscribe to the channel, because not only do you get this terrific podcast, The Winning Fourcast, but you also get Paul Dalling and I talking NRL with the Scrum feed and also Sportsfan Radio's general videos as well.
And with the rugby starting on Sunday, Professor, over in Las Vegas, should be a good time to start listening in to you and the Giraffe to get some good tips in relation to the...
Yes, well, the Giraffe guarantee, he's on the Bulldogs this week.
Okay. That'll be interesting.
All right. And we'd also like to ask our viewers and listeners to comment if they've got an idea about what could improve racing, or if they want to talk about our tips or give us some of their own. We're perfectly happy to look at that. And Gelding, you might have picked up that there's now an audio podcast of the Winning Fourcast as well. You can get on Spotify or iHeartRadio or all the other things. So people don't have to watch the video. They can be walking along with their iPhone and just listen to us.
Exactly. But we prefer them to watch the other podcast, don't we?
We would prefer them to watch the video, but sometimes they can't. So just letting them know.
They're very busy people sometimes.
That's right. Those busy people, they can now just listen to it when they're doing something else. Plenty happening and plenty of innovation for Sportsfan Radio and the Winning Fourcast.
Beautiful, Professor. Well done.
All right, Gelding, that's all for the Winning Fourcast from this week. So until next week, it's good luck
and good punting.